Hey there, it's Olivia Savannah here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to give you a big book haul. Most of these books are books that I got for my birthday, which was in January, and some of these will contribute to my TBR challenge, but it's okay because as of me filming this, I am very much in the lead, and I'm very happy about that. So the first book I have to show you I am so excited for, and thank you so much to the publisher for sending it my way, and that is 19 Claws and a Blackbird by Agustina Bazterrica, which you might recognise as the author of Tender as the Flesh, which was one of my favourite horror reads of 2022. So I'm very much anticipating and looking forward to reading this. This is her short story collection, which I have been assured deals with human monstrousness in all of its different forms, so it's going to be horror once again, and I've just been eating short stories up like nobody's business, so I can't wait to see what she has done with these short stories. Then I got a gift, and this was from one of my good friends Lakeisha, who used to have a blog and now is just kind of like around on the different bookish social medias, but we always get each other gifts for each other's birthday, and she got me Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood, as we both loved The Love Hypothesis. This is a bind up of 3 different novellas that Ali Hazelwood has written, and I've heard that the characters kind of feel the same, and I don't actually mind because I love that dynamic in The Love Hypothesis, so I'll be happy to read it again and again and again in each one of these novellas. This was another gift from Lakeisha, and that is The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty. I found this quite entertaining, as I also got this one for her birthday in October for her, and we both adore the Adiba trilogy, which starts with The City of Brass. I think it's been a while since I've loved a fantasy series so much. Well, actually, that's a lie. That was the 5th season. But other than that, I haven't loved a fantasy series as much as I've loved this one in a long time. And this is a short story collection that is set in the same world and following some of the side characters, so each of them get short stories. As I said, I've been adoring short story collections, and it's part of a series that I adore. So all in all, I just know I'm going to have a good time with this one. Then we have One for All by Lillie Lainoff. And if you followed me on Instagram, you'll have seen, I don't think it's running anymore, but I did a giveaway for a copy of this. You should definitely follow me on Instagram because every now and again I do giveaways, and this one is a fantasy historical fiction book. It's a gender-bent retelling of The Three Musketeers, and our main character has a chronic illness, so there's disability rep in it. I've also heard that there are queer vibes, and it just sounds like it's going to be a very, very fun book, and I love a good classic retelling, so I'm very, very excited to read this at some point. Up next, I have a birthday gift which was from the lovely Victoria. Victoria is one of the most supportive people I know. She's always supporting her friends and fellow booktube creators, so if you haven't checked out her channel, you should really do so in the link down below. But she sent me The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell, so thank you very much, Victoria. We are both big fans of Hamlet. We both adored it, and I think it was on both of our best of the year lists, and this is Maggie O'Farrell's next historical fiction that she's written since then. It's got a gorgeous cover, and the foiling underneath is lovely too. Truthfully, I don't know too much about this one, and I think I've read the synopsis multiple times and it hasn't stuck in my mind, but I actually don't care because I know that her prose is so beautiful and she often focuses on female characters, so I think this is just going to be another one where I really, really enjoy it. Moving on, we have The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. This was a gift from Taylor from Iridescent Blaze over on Instagram. We have been friends since I was a teenager on YWS, which is a writing website, and I really loved Tiffany D. Jackson's other horror book last year, which was White Smoke, and so I'm looking forward to reading this one, which is supposed to have Carrie-esque vibes to it. I don't get along with Stephen King, so I'm so ready for a black author to see that story and make it something new and make it something fresh, and it just sounds like it's going to be very dark. On the cover it says, "Uneasy lies the head that wears the tiara." I'm ready to be scared. And also from Taylor, I got You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thao, and this is a young adult book about this friend, and I think she has a partner and she falls in love with him and they're dating, and then he dies, I believe, and so she feels very sad and she phones his number just to hear his voice on the voicemail, but he actually picks up and answers. And it's a young adult book that's dealing with grief, buzzword, buzzword, buzzword. So basically that's why I really wanted to read this, and the cover is gorgeous as well. And I actually saw this once in the works and I had to leave the shop and run away basically because it was on sale and I really wanted it, and I'm on a buying ban. So thank you so much, Taylor, for giving me this book, and now I can actually read it. So I also very kindly got sent to an event by Team Bookmark, who are part of Hachette, and it was an amazing event. It was in Camden, and we went and had brunch with Adiba Jaigirdar, who is a young adult author. It was so cool to meet her, and there were also other Instagrammers and TikTokers there, so it was lovely to talk to them, and the food was amazing. I had French toast for the first time ever, and I really, really liked it, and there was just so much food. They kept feeding us. They gave us donuts, which makes sense because one of the books that they gave us a proof of was The Do's and Do-Nuts of Love by Adiba Jaigirdar, and I am so excited for this because I love anything that is sweet and has to do with donuts. I adore donuts, and I'm thinking of doing another reading and eating vlog for this particular book, and I think it's got a bit of a baking competition in it, so if you like your baking competition, young adult contemporary romances, this is where you need to be. Oh, and there's a bit of a like enemies to lovers, seeing as she's going against the person who she might fall in love with. And also there we got finished copies of A Million to One by Adiba Jaigirdar, and this is her young adult historical fiction heist kind of story where there are these 4 women who end up on this Titanic, and they're trying to steal, so doing a heist to steal this very jewel encrusted special book, and it's got sapphic vibes, it's adventurous, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I had a proof copy, but now I've got a finished copy, so it's not contributing to my challenge, but both of these sound like they're going to be very, very cute. And a big thank you to Hannah from Perusing Hannah for this copy of I Want to Die But I Want to Eat Tteokbokki by Baek Sehee, which was for my birthday. This one is a kind of self-help memoir book where our main character, or the author you should say, works in a publishing house, and she's just really unhappy with life. She's feeling depressed, and although she is feeling this depression, she never fails to muster up the want to eat tteokbokki, which is her favourite dish, and so she is kind of trying to talk through this, and it's kind of a transcript of some of her sessions with her therapist. So it's got to do with social media publishing and food, and those are all things that I really like, and I also enjoy reading a good memoir. And my younger sister Simone for my birthday got me tteokbokki, authentic tteokbokki, so I can do another reading and eating vlog for this one. And then one last gift from Lakeisha, and that was for Things My Son Needs to Know About the World by Fredrik Backman. I love Fredrik Backman's books, and I think she saw that I recently read a novella of his and really adored it, and so thought I should get this non-fiction. This will be the first time me reading something that's non-fiction by this author, and it's basically just letters that he's written to his son about things he feels like his son needs to know about the world. We have from Mary Among Stories, who's just a lovely sweetheart of a person. I'll leave links to her channels down below as well. Mary got me The Mysteries of Thorn Manor by Margaret Rogerson. Margaret Rogerson, I just love her. She's one of my, I guess, favourite fantasy writers for a book that's always going to give me a lot of joy and just be a really fun fantasy book with good world building that I don't need to take too seriously. And this is a sequel novella to A Sorcery of Thorns, which I read by her and absolutely loved. So we're following those characters, and it's about what they're doing next. I don't want to give away the original story. I didn't realise this was coming out until I just saw it suddenly on an Instagram page, and I was like, I want this book, but I'm on a ban. So again, I'm so happy that I got this for my birthday. Thank you very much, Mary. Hannah from Ladette M, who is a very good friend of mine, she decided that she didn't want to contribute to my TBR as we got our TBR challenge going on, and she got me some homemade bubble tea, mango flavoured homemade bubble tea sets, which makes a lot of sense because I love tea in all of its forms and I love everything mango flavoured. But she also got me a copy of Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott, and this is in the Penguins Classics paperback edition. I've read this, I really liked it. I appreciated it when I was younger because of the fact that it's following 4 sisters, and I am from a quartet of sisters as well, and so I have a personal affiliation to this book, and I also collect these editions, so I'm very happy to be able to add this to the collection. So continuing on with adding to my Penguin Classics collection, we have Abby from Abbey of Pelennor. She is fantastic, and she is just so funny but also so sweet. and so understanding all the time, and she also has a YouTube channel which I will leave a link to down below, and she got me 2 books from the Penguin Classics hardback collection. So the first one she got me was The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, which we buddy read together last year. We read this whole thing and it was a very good time. I really enjoyed reading this with her, and I really enjoyed the book too. I unhauled my copy because I often buy classics in a cheap edition, and then if I like them I get a special edition, so I didn't actually have this on my shelves for a couple of months, and I'm very, very happy to have it in an edition of the series that I collect. So thank you, Abby. It will always remind me of our time buddy reading together. And then she also got me Passing by Nella Larsen, which has recently been published as a hardback. I've got the paperback one and I've got the hardback one. It's in their little hardback editions. Passing is a fantastic black modern classic. I really recommend it. I think I recommended it to Abby and she liked it as well. And yeah, fantastic. And the film adaptation to this that was done on Netflix is also very, very good. And I think this is the 3rd edition of the book I own. So that just goes to show how much I adore this book. So Kaz from Cats and Camera was unhauling a few books, and all I had to do was make sure it got to me. So it's not breaking my ban, and it contributed to my TBR challenge, and I'm happy because lots of these are ones that I wanted to read. One of them that I took from her is Tin Man by Sarah Winman. This is a book that focuses on platonic friendship but also romantic love in some ways and forms, and it's been on my TBR wish list for a very, very long time, probably since it came out, and it's not that long, so I'm looking forward to being able to read it. She did a massive unhaul, and I was quite selective in the books that I chose. I tried to only choose ones that were already on my TBR wish list. The only exception to that rule is Less by Andrew Sean Green, which was on my TBR wish list, and then I removed it because I didn't want to spend money on it, but seeing as I could get it for free, I thought why not try it. And it's the story of this man who gets invited to his ex's wedding, and he is a failed novelist, and so to avoid this invite to the wedding that he's been given, he decides that he's going to travel and try and escape. So it's about him trying to find himself through travel, I'm assuming, while also just like finding out about mishaps and love, and it sounds really sweet. Thank you to the publisher for sending me a copy of We All Want Impossible Things by Catherine Newman. I saw this cover on an anticipated books list while I was doing something for my job, which had to do with anticipated books lists. And I saw the cover and it had cheesecake on it, and my favourite dessert is cheesecake. And so I saw the cheesecake and I saw the cracked plate and I thought, what is this book about? And then I found out what it was about and I thought, wow, this is the perfect book for me because it's about these 2 friends who are really, really close friends, and then I think one of them gets cancer or some other terminal illness and they're having to deal with that. And so it's about friendship and that kind of pure love, but it's also about the early grief that terminal illness can bring, and the cake comes into it somehow, and that's all I really needed to know to really want to read this book. And then, so I mentioned in my previous giveaway that I got a book gift voucher for Christmas and I ordered some books, but Waterstone was having some issues, so the last one arrived in time for this haul rather than the previous one, like all the other books, and that is Milk Teeth by Jessica Andrews. This book was personally recommended to me by Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, and he has talked about how great this book is, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. I've also seen Gabriella from Gabriella's Goodreads over on Instagram really praise this book and say it's absolutely fantastic. So with those 2 brilliant people giving such a strong recommendation, I decided I would spend some of my gift voucher on it. Speaking of Scott, but also Nelle from Book Hunt, who are a couple, they got me 2 books for my birthday, and one of them is Women Talking by Miriam Towes, and this one is also a classic, Tess of the Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. And I know that both of them really like these books, and also they're books about disadvantaged women, so I will be happily reading these books about disadvantaged women. And I also especially love the detail of this being a Wordsworth Classics edition, because these are the editions that I collect my classics in to try them out, and then they're not very expensive editions, so if I don't like the classic I just unhaul it and I don't feel like I've spent or wasted money on a beautiful classic edition. So the fact that they got me this version of it just shows they know me very well, and then I know that this has gotten positive reviews from them, so I'm looking forward to seeing what I think of these both. I think I'm going to get to this one first, but excited. Then we have some graphic novels. So I'm going to start with Embroideries by Marjane Satrapi, which I got from Jane, who is one of my friends in real life. Thanks so much, Jane. And this is a graphic novel. I actually don't know that much about it, but it is by the author of Persepolis, and I really enjoyed Persepolis. And also, literally the day before Jane gave this to me, I was on the phone to my best friend and she was talking about how much she was reading this book and enjoying it, and I thought, ooh, maybe I should try it. And then Jane gave it to me for my birthday. Amazing, it's fate. We've got the last 3 books here from Kaz's Unhaul. So Kaz decided that Alan Moore was not an author for her, so she was unhauling 3 of Alan Moore's very famous graphic novels, and all 3 of these were on my TBR wish list, but I had failed to get them for myself at any point because they are typically quite expensive. So the fact that Kaz was giving them away for free absolutely blew my mind and made me a very happy recipient of these books. So the first one is V is for Vendetta, which is a very, very famous one, and I've been meaning to read it for a long time, and equally as famous I think is Watchmen, so there's that too. And then last but not least, I don't know if many people know this about me, but my favourite superhero is Batman. Without a doubt. Easily Batman. What could go wrong with just a normal man who has no superpowers doing what he can to fight for the disadvantaged and spend his millionaire money on doing that, and also in all black, and also using gadgets and technology to be his superpower. I just really love Batman, and he gets some of the best villains, and what is typically known as one of the best Batman storylines ever is The Killing Joke, which I have not read myself, but this is what this one covers, and so I am so excited to have these, and by the time this haul comes up I will have probably already read The Killing Joke. Moving on, we have Becky by Sarah May. This is a finished copy. I've had a proof copy and I'm actually currently reading this one, and this is a modern day, or a contemporary I should say, retelling of Vanity Fair, and we're following a character called Becky who will stop at nothing to get the positions that she wants within her journalist career, and she's willing to bend fact and fiction to be able to do that. So far I'm enjoying the way that Becky is just such a narrow-minded and targeted character. She sees what she wants, she knows what she wants, and she's going to go for it. Thank you to the publisher for sending me a copy of Larsen by Lizzie Stewart. This is a graphic novel that's historical, I believe, and it's a lot to do with friendship, and I've heard it's very sad. Beautiful but sad, and again, by the time this haul goes up I'll probably have read it because this is really high on my list of books that I want to read. I have returned to Twitter, which surprises me. I really thought I was done with that platform, but apparently not. And when you return to Twitter, you get to know about Twitter giveaways. So I won a copy of Jollof Rice and Other Revolutions by Omolola Ijoma Oguyemi. And this is a short story collection. It's by a black author, and I saw it on a lot of anticipated lists, and that's all I needed to know. I will give black authors poetry collections and short story collections a chance without knowing too much about them, because to be honest I think we are unparalleled in writing those two things. Oh, I was not done. There were more books from Kaz's Unhaul. I really took a lot of books from her Unhaul. So this is a trilogy that I took from her Unhaul. It starts with, actually I don't know where it starts, but we've got Ghost. Actually I think it does start with Ghost, and we have Patina, and we also have Sunny, and these are all by Jason Reynolds. These are a series about this characters who run track and are a part of the track team. I've really enjoyed books by Jason Reynolds in the past. This is a middle grade series. The covers are colourful. I know that Cara from Wild Book Garden really enjoyed these and thought they were underrated, and so when I saw that Kaz was unhauling them I thought I should really give those a try, as they were already on my radar. Another book I got from the Unhaul was Nate Plus One by Kevin Van Wy, and I read his debut novel, which I can't remember the title of it right now. It's on the back. Date Me Bryson Keller, which I really enjoyed, and it took me by surprise how much I enjoyed it, which I think is because it was at the start of me realising that I'm still a young adult contemporary lover, and so I'm looking forward to reading more of his. This one is set in South Africa, so we're getting more of that cultural element, and it sounds like it's going to be queer and diverse and a young adult contemporary. Buzzwords, buzzwords, buzzwords. Down to our last 3 books here. So I got a copy of Here the Whole Time by Vitor Martins, which I already own in a proof copy from somebody else's Unhaul, but I thought if I can snag a finished copy, I would rather that than a proof copy on my shelves. Controversial opinion. So when I saw that she was unhauling it for free and I was getting all these other books anyway, I added it to my list. Then thank you to the publisher for Crossing the Line by Tia Fisher. This is from the same publisher who published The Silver Chain, which was my favourite novel in verse last year, and I'm hoping this one will be very, very good too. It is the story of Eric, and he's someone who's very good at making bad decisions, so I'm looking forward to reading this very, very soon. It's really high up on my list. Novels in verse don't stick around on my TBR for too long. And then last but not least, I was sent unsolicited Friendship Ever Ends by Alexandre Shepherd, and this is a middle grade book with a black cast of characters, and it's about their friendships. So I think we're following 4 characters who have a summer that they don't want to forget, but are they growing closer together or are they growing further apart? And I'm curious about this one. I think I am going to read it because I do like seeing middle grade with friendship as a focus, and it's nice that it's diverse, but we shall see. We shall see when I get to this one. So thank you to all of the friends who got me something for my birthday, whether it was books or something unbook related. I appreciate you, and thank you to the publishers who sent books my way. Please let me know in the comment section down below what was the last book you bought, received, borrowed or acquired. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards. Excelsior!